family of a local man shot and killed by Albuquerque police last fall right in front of APD's headquarters is now suing the city.
Spencer Schott spoke with the family and their attorneys this afternoon, who say this shooting is another result of the department's long history of excessive force.
When my mom called me crying and screaming at the top of her lungs that she had gotten a phone call from UNM Hospital that he had been shot.
And none of us believed what happened. It was just hard because, one, we didn't know what happened other than he was gone.
Jesus Crosby, a man diagnosed with schizophrenia, was shot and killed by APD officers in the early morning of November 10th, 2022.
We have a mental health crisis here in our city, in our state, and our brother needed help. And no one reached out to give him that help, whether it was officers or crisis unit or other entities that would help the officers de-escalate the situation and not have to use lethal force.
This week, Crosby's family filed this lawsuit against the city of Albuquerque, saying armed officers should have never been the ones to respond to a mental health crisis. And the city has not been properly funding the resources that they say should have been on scene that night.
This is not the first time that a mental health crisis has coincided with a police shooting. It's unfortunately fairly common.
The lawsuit also points out APD was very familiar with Crosby. Court records show he has been cited for trespassing near the police department 3 times before the shooting, and officers knew him by name. Lapel video released by APD in December shows that.
You do know me. I've talked to you several times.
Even so, the lawsuit says no de-escalation tactics were used. Instead, officers opened fire on Crosby. And APD says officers first thought he had a knife. Instead, he had nail clippers.
One of the policies within APD is to use only the force that's necessary to protect the sanctity of human life. And that just wasn't done that night for Jesus Crosby, just like it hasn't been done historically as a pattern in this town for too many years now.
We're just devastated with everything what happened. We really miss our brother.
I reached out to APD earlier today for comment on this lawsuit, and last we heard was a representative with the police department said they were checking to see if the department has been served with this lawsuit yet. In Albuquerque, Spencer Schott, KOB4.
APD has also recently touted the success of the Albuquerque Community Safety Department, but there's not evidence ACS responded during that particular incident.